twice back in March. The Pirates entered last year with high expectations, and this season will be no different as Kim McNeil enters year 6 at the helm and is fresh off a contract extension. Congrats, Coach. That puts her through the 2027 season at East Carolina. But even more important, you get Amaya Joyner back. Coach, how big is that for the program?
It's always good to have a hometown kid on the team. I think for her sometimes expectations are pretty high and she's really hard on herself, but she's worked really hard this off season, got herself in great shape, stayed in the gym, was out running on her own. So I'm expecting a pretty big year from Mama this year.
What is that like to help develop a player into building those habits so that, they're kind of running their own program?
Yeah, well, when we got Amaya, it was huge for our program. To get a top 100 kid to stay at East Carolina, to be able to stay home, that was unbelievable. And so, she's like a daughter to me, which all my girls are. But we've had some ups, we've had some downs. But she. She's just so hard on herself, but she's an unbelievable talent. We all know that. It's just her, not being so hard on herself, understanding she's going to make mistakes, stop putting so much pressure, and just go out and have fun.
Talk about pressure, Coach. I love your backstory. It's the doubted and overcome. How can you build from what you've done in the past into this season?
I feel like we're always going to be kind of overlooked. I think that's just part of being a Pirate, and so. We go into practice every single day, with a chip on our shoulder, just taking one day at a time, understanding that the goal is just to get better each and every day. We're a blue-collar kind of team. We want to make the game ugly. If the game is pretty, we probably won't win. We win games off of our defense, off of our identity. We know how we're going to win games, and so we got to make the game ugly. And so every day in practice, defense is the main focal point. We get after it. We're diving on the floor. We're blocking shots. We're having a good time. It's extremely loud when you come in the gym. So that's kind of the expectation. That's what it looks like to be a Pirate.
So who is your defensive leader in the gym this summer? There it is.
Right here. Right here. And that was and losing Tania last year was tough, in a lot of different ways, from a leadership standpoint, from experience. But she really is the leader of our defense. And she has made my life a lot easier this year because she knows the defense just as much as I do, and she can tell everybody what they are supposed to do. So she's like the coach on the floor.
Tania, a lot of players focus on offense. How many points am I going to get? How many shots am I going to get? What is it about defense that you love and that helps get your team wins?
I just take a lot of pride in my defense. It always feels good, when you need that stop or just locking someone up, getting a steal. And defense leads to offense. So a lot of people say they like to score. My defense produces offense for me. So.
And how would you describe how your game is different and what edge you bring to the game?
I got rebounding.
Yeah.
Of course. I can throw the ball, I get my team involved a lot, and I can score.
How much fun is it to play with her in the post? How confident are you?
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Like she said, she's just an amazing passer. Her abilities as she is, she's really a big guard. So just playing with her, always expecting the ball. She's a willing passer, so just always being ready for it. Like you said, she can score, shoot. It's just unbelievable to play with her.
Is she somebody that the team can kind of get behind and go as she goes, or how would you describe her?
I'm constantly in her ear throughout practice telling her, we need you. If we're going to hang another one of these banners, we need you. Offensively, defensively, rebounding, like she just said, we need it all. So.
Coach, you get to the championship game 2 years in a row, which in itself is not easy to do. How does that path look like to get there for the third straight time?
I think this year is probably the most experienced team I've had since I've been at East Carolina. Obviously we lost Danae McNeil, but there's a lot of kids returning from that championship team, these two especially, and a lot of kids that were on the team last year that went to the championship. So they understand what it's going to take. They understand what it feels like. It's not going to be a shocker when we get there. And so practice has been able to move a little bit faster. Our defense is ahead of where it's been in the past. And it normally takes about a year to really learn how to play our matchup. And I've got kids out there that understand it, that has been in it. So, It's looking good for us. I'm really excited about where we are. I'm excited about this team. I'm not having to yell as much in practice. So practice is actually fun, because I'm not having to correct a whole lot, so I can have fun with them. And so, we're ready to play somebody. Beating up on each other every day, beating up on our practice guys. Like, we're ready to go and see what we really look like in our scrimmage this weekend.
What do you think was the missing piece when you look back at that championship game that if you can put your finger on it, if you had that, you would have won?
The missing piece all year long when Sania and Micah went down. We lost both of our point guards, Micah being our lead point guard and Sania being the backup, and then the two kids that understood our defense the most. So, I look back on it, and yes, we lost in the championship game, but I think a lot of people counted us out when those two went down, and for us to win 19 games and make it back to the championship, again, just shows the resiliency in our program and just the belief that we have in our system.
What does it say to you about this conference where you have, 3 teams sharing the regular season, another one walking away with the championship? What do, NCAA committees need to know? What does the general public need to know about this league?
I say it all the time. We don't get enough credit. There's a lot of great teams in this league. There's a lot of great coaches. There's a lot of great players. And I just feel like we kind of get pushed on the back burner a little bit. But people need to start paying attention to this league. There's a lot of great players in this league. And I think it's going to be just like it was last year. There's going to be one game that's going to separate you from maybe being second to all the way down to 8th or 9th. I think it's going to be a really big log jam just like it was this past season.
Yeah, Coach, it sounds like you're putting this league on notice with bringing those
I am.
two
I definitely
back.
am.
Why?
I just feel like we're bringing back a lot of experience. I feel like we have a lot of depth in our starting 5 and a lot of kids coming off the bench. I know people are thinking, Danae McNeil is gone. There's 20-some points a game, but these kids are really sharing the ball really well in practice. I think we have some of the best post players in the league in Tati and Talia and Amaya. I think they're going to be a lot to handle down there in the post, both defensively and offensively. And then we got guards that can score. So I don't think you can just focus on one kid like you did in the past. Everybody focused on Danae. I don't think you're going to be able to do that with us this year. And I think our defense is going to be much better than it was last year.
So what does success look like for you this year? How do you define it?
It's top 3.
Yeah.
Like, we finish in top 3. I think we should finish top 3 in the league. If we don't, that'll be very disappointing for me.
Can't wait to see you guys put it out on the floor this
Thank
season.
you.
Best of luck this year, and thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you. Go Pirates.
Awesome. Sticking with Pirates.